This is the famous Waterloo Chamber in the very heart of Windsor Castle. And this, a prestigious concert featuring the world-famous St George's Chapel Choir. Before the performance, a final run-through to get things just right.
Good. And then these individual leads on the next page, there's a cuisse, much more consonants, K's, cuisse. 1, 2, 3.
When you go up there and you just sort of go up the stairs and enter the room, and you go around onto the stage and you see people you know and your family and Wessex, and you think, wow, this is a big performance.
Then there's the waiting for your cue.
As well as the services, the choristers get opportunities to take part in broadcasts and recordings and concerts, both here in the chapel and elsewhere with orchestras. And the choristers see these as special projects, the opportunity to sing a Mozart Mass with a lineup of soloists on a special occasion. That adds an extra special lustre, I think.
And so once you finish it, it's quite a big relief to finish it, but you don't really want to finish it because it's really, really exhilarating.
After the concert, there's some warm applause. And a word or two of royal appreciation and encouragement.
Because it was my birthday and the deputy head couldn't go, I was chosen to go and meet him. And so what sort of happened is he met all the soloists in the concert and the conductor, and then he met me and the head chorister.
Well, Anna Jones is the head chorister. Indeed. And Freddie Coates, whose birthday it is today.
Oh, really? Oh, well, happy birthday to you too. Fantastic. I don't think we'd expect us to do this for you every year.
But the chorister's main job is to sing in St George's Chapel for the services that are held here throughout the week.
Stop you there. Look at the third bar and point to the second note. Always seem to have a problem getting that in interval.
This commitment means there is a regular and demanding rehearsal schedule starting before lessons each school day.
Mercy and grace. There we are. Off again. Then first 1, 2, 3, 4.
I see the choristers first thing in the morning for an hour, from 8:15 to 9:15. In other words, before they go and do their school. They then do a whole school day and some sport and everything else, and then they come up again in the afternoon at 4:30, and we have another rehearsal with the full choir, and then they sing a service.
Okay, off we go. 1, 2.
It's the most marvellous opportunity for the right sort of boy. If you're keen and enthusiastic and want to learn about music and history and tradition, this is the best opportunity that there is.
We've got that choir because we want to maintain the choral tradition
that has been going on in this place since the 14th century. So we deem it as one of the most important things we do. We spend a lot of money on it, almost £500,000. We consider that to be worthwhile. It's a jolly good choir, and we're very proud of them.
The choristers are expected to reach professional standards quickly, as the choir is often in demand. Here, BBC engineers are preparing for another live broadcast.
You are listening to Radio 3 on 90 to 93 FM, and it's time for this week's broadcast of Choral Evensong, which comes live from the Queen's Free Chapel of St George in Windsor Castle on the feast of King Edward the Confessor. The service opens now with an introit by a former chorister of St George's, Francis Greer, God who made the earth and sky and the changing sea.
I find it quite fun because you're going up to a castle and you've got all these opportunities to do stuff, and it's doing something new that you maybe haven't been doing before in your life.
After the service, the boys return to their studies at St George's School, down the 100 steps that connect the castle and their classrooms. Musical talent is nurtured here. For the choristers, there is tuition and grade exams for their 2 chosen instruments.
That was heading for a distinction, wasn't it? Till that one note, very good, well on the way.
How would you describe it?
It's in 3, they're grouped in 3.
And they make progress through the grades in music theory too.
Yes, exactly. So you've got 2 beats there, haven't you? Then your little gap, invisible curtain down the middle.
Well, learning to play an instrument is a wonderful discipline. It also helps you express yourself in different ways, and people develop their love of music through different outlets. So most of our choristers learn to play the piano, and many of them learn to play other instruments, mainly orchestral instruments.
St George's started life as a school just for the choristers. Now it is a thriving community of around 400 boys and girls aged from 3 to 13. If auditions and interviews for boys and their parents go well, recruits can start singing with the choir in year 3 or 4. The beginners, or novices as they are called, can remain day pupils if they wish, but the senior boys live at school to provide the best possible balance between their music, their schoolwork and their playtime.
Us senior boys board just in here, so if you'd like to follow me. And so this is Nelson 2. And, well, that's my bed, and we have our little pinboards. And we put our own pictures on, so it gives it the homely effect. And so we have cupboards and drawers to keep our clothes in, and have a tuck box to lock and keep private things in.
It's excellent being a chorister. We had loads of opportunities. We've met the royal family, we've seen the new married couple and the Queen and everybody. It's excellent, and the things that you do are just phenomenal. Like, you get to sing in the castle and the chapel every day, so that's amazing. We get up at around 6:30. At 7 we go and do music practice in our instruments. I do the harp and piano on alternate days. Then once we finish that, we have breakfast for half an hour. It's usually really nice at breakfast.
The choristers, while special singers, are normal schoolboys too, with a full schedule of lessons and sports and play to fill their days.
Like anything else that you want to do to a high standard, of course you've got to put the time in. I remember myself learning to play my flute at a very young age, not always going out and playing with my friends because I wanted to be in and get better at playing the flute.
4 crotchets in a barn. 2 minims. 2 crotchets.
So it's a balance. If you were in a county swimming team, you'd get up early to do your swimming practice. You'd be swimming after school, you'd be swimming at weekends. The choristers do the same, but they're singing.
It's really good because our house parents are extremely kind and they're really organised. So when we come down from chapel, when Mrs. Pepys leads us, she takes us into dinner, and it's always really nice because we have really good chefs.
There are many upsides. Having been a chorister myself since the age of 7.5, very young age. But they work together, they play together, they sing together, and that builds up sort of, togetherness, as it were. They love working hard. Any boy likes working hard. They like to be busy.
People see and marvel at what they can achieve. These young people that come in at the age of 8 who can sing a bit, by the age of 13 they're professional musicians who are recording artists, who are singing for royalty at state occasions. There are so many chances in the course of the year to shine that other children raise their game because of the choristers. And it doesn't turn you into some sort of Walter the Softy. You're still running around getting muddy and squashed on the rugby pitch. You're still having fun. You're a normal boy who just happens to be one of the top singers in the country.
I thoroughly enjoy sport, especially my rugby season, and I love playing as I'm a prop.
It gives me great pleasure to welcome you this afternoon to our special department.
The performance ethos is contagious. When Her Majesty the Queen paid a neighbourly visit recently, pupils throughout the school, from the pre-prep and the ballet students, or the cast of the school show, and a choir that featured both choristers and the school supers choir delighted their special guest with their efforts.
Three cheers for Her Majesty the Queen. Hip hip. Hooray! Hip hip. Hooray! Hip hip. Hooray!
There are solid musical foundations being laid here. Many of these boys will continue to perform and enjoy music throughout their lives. Some even come back for more. Dominic Bland first came to St George's as a chorister. Now he has returned as one of the 12 lay clerks.
The discipline is something actually very special about being a chorister. You work your way up the ranks, you move forward, you just want to be the best you can be. So that was where I had oboe lessons with Mr. Carr. And we used to practice in this room. It's a fantastic 5 years which develops you in so many ways, obviously in musical aspects, but also in discipline, working out what you want in life.
Christmas is always a busy time for the choir, with special concerts and extra services.
Choristers have a very full timetable at Christmas time, and so from the 1st of December right up until the 25th of December, the choristers are here, so they have to be in school until Christmas afternoon. Everybody loves to hear a line of little boys singing Once in Royal David City.
Because you're not at home at these really special times of year, you're going to be spoilt rotten at the times when you're not actually performing or rehearsing. We appreciate what a sacrifice it is not to spend Christmas and Easter with your families. You're spending them with your extended family at the chapel, so we will try and make it as really pleasant as we possibly can.
So I think it's going to be really good fun. I think they have lots of fun and games. There's lots of other children there. They wake up at school on Christmas morning, which Max is actually really looking forward to. And we're going to have Christmas Day on Boxing Day, so they'll get double the Christmas. And I imagine double the presents as well.
The parties are really fun because Callum White's one, he's got a good chef and he makes a lovely dinner and supper. And for pudding we get ice cream with Mars bar sauce and banana sauce, which is really tasty.
Sunday is the busiest day of the week, with 3 services to sing. The first, sung matins, is attended each week by the Military Knights of Windsor.
I I think it's something that the boys love doing. Certainly Max really enjoys it. He decided that he wanted to do it. He said, this is something I really want to do. He took himself off to the interview. And it was quite a daunting interview, I think, a panel of the dean, the headmaster, and he stood up there, and I'm really proud of the fact that he decided to do that on his own, and they said, yes, we'd be delighted to have him. And you don't necessarily have to be the most amazing solo singer. I think as long as your voice is trainable, this is what they're looking for, and you're part of a team.
We look for a bright 7 or 8 year old who doesn't necessarily have to have done much music before, but they need to have a voice, and if you are unsure about whether they have a voice, just listen to them in the playground, and they need to have a good aptitude and be willing to be taught.
You'll very much need Mum and Dad's permission if you're going to commit yourself to 5 years as a chorister, because you're committing them to 5 years, but the advantages at the end of it are going to be so important. You'll have worked as a team, you'll have musicianship unequalled in a child of your age.
I mean, you're part of history. It's a tradition that goes back 700 years, and here especially, you've got that enormous privilege of singing for the royal family. I don't think you can beat that.
And that sense of being part of history is brought home loud and clear each summer amid the pomp and ceremony of Garter Day.
Everybody steps up for a big occasion, from the 7-year-olds to the 13-year-olds. Everybody works so hard for those special occasions. I think everyone just realises that it's very important, and it's something you're going to look back at in the future and go, wow, I was there.
Garter Day is definitely extra special because we've got those extra people and that extra bit of work to do. The whole of the royal family attends and all the Knights of the Garter, and we are inside with the Queen, with the princes and the dukes and everyone else. So that's really cool.
It's quite tough because they are being treated as professional musicians. I mean, they're expected to hold their part in a piece of music in the same way as the professional male singers who sing behind them are doing, and they are all fully trained and professional singers, and the boys are expected to match that standard. So particularly on the senior boys, it's quite a responsibility to keep that going and encourage the younger ones to aspire to that standard.
It's a professional commitment. And I can't think of any equivalent sphere where children are expected to work in the same milieu as professional adults. But they respond very well to that, and I think they take a great pride in the professionalism that they bring to the work that they do.
If you would like more information about being a chorister at St George's Chapel, come to a service to hear the choir. The chapel is open every day of the year. Check the chapel website for details of the music scheduled for each service. The annual Be a Chorister for a Day Open Day will be advertised in the local press, or you can contact the school registrar to talk to the headmaster or the directors of music.